Let us say hello to old friend Matt Mitrione. There he is.
What up, AH? How are you, brother?
Matt, oh man, just hearing you say AH, it takes me back to like 2012. This is beautiful. How are you?
I'm living a dream, my man. I'm good, healthy, happy, ready to get out there and be half naked in front of gazillions of people.
This is beautiful. You came prepared, right? You brought a Mitrione minute? No, I'm just joking. I didn't.
Yeah, this day and age, brother, no chance.
I was just telling someone who's new to the show, I don't think we would have lasted 1 week doing that in 2021, right?
No way, canceled, brother. No way.
Right. Good. That is good. Well, it's
hey, how you doing, man? You got like a gazillion kids now. You're trying to catch up with me.
Yeah, I know. I got 3. I saw your kids. I remember when they were little babies. I didn't even have any. I'll never forget, Matt. I remember telling you that I was going to be a parent for the first time, and you were giving me some fatherly advice. I remember exactly where I was when I told you this, at my apartment in Brooklyn. And I always admired how much you loved your kids, like the way in which you spoke about your children. And now to see them, I think they're probably in high school, middle school, right? They look huge.
Yeah, 16, 12, 11.
Wow, that is amazing. How are they doing?
They're great, dude. They're doing really well. Believe it or not, well adjusted. They do well in school. They do well in sports. They do well socially. They're good, man.
They're good. And you have remarried, correct?
I did. Actually, my wife is here, as a matter of fact. This is the first time, other than when I brought Jacob to London, this is the first time anybody in my family's been. I was actually going to bring the kids like the Mears, but schedule-wise, school-wise, it couldn't work out.
Wow. So this isn't your first time that your new wife will see you fight, right?
Yeah, live for sure.
First time?
Yeah.
How's she handling that?
Come here. Yeah, I got a question for you. Are you nervous now? I guess apparently she's nervous. She doesn't handle my fighting very well. Like she's ready for me to be done. But like then again, you know how it is, man. Like I have a love-hate relationship with the well, I can't say that. I might have a love-hate relationship with MMA. This one may be totally different. It's such a different gig, you know.
Why love-hate with MMA? And thank you for taking off the hat. I want to see those eyes. I want to see the hair. This is old meathead that we.
Hey, brother.
Yes, this is beautiful. Why love-hate with MMA? I thought it brought you good things.
It did. That's why I love it, right? Like really, it was a very good life, and I enjoyed it. But like, I was never a fan of how fickle the fan base was at times. I think that there are some that are really educated, and I think there are the masses that are just so flippantly ignorant, and they don't care to learn nuance. And I think that that's something that always kind of bothered me about it. I think that I've never, like, I like grappling. I wrestle because it was part of the sport. I don't like wrestling. I don't like people that can steal rounds. I like the aggression that is rewarded, right? I don't like passivity being rewarded in a fight sport. And I think that, like, you know me, but it's always been that way, right? Like, and also like in order for where I lived at in Indiana, I had to travel, had to be away from my family, had to do so much. I think there was a very strong mix of what I didn't like that blended in with financially and the freedom that I was able to have because of the sport.
So are you done with fighting? Are you done with MMA?
I don't like, I would venture to say I'm done with MMA. I'm probably, like, who knows, like this, I might really love this sport. Some people might call me ignorant for saying this, but like, I don't feel that I have been outperformed in stand-up. I think I like my last two, I have three TKOs, right? Like Karatanov, then what's his name? The one headbutt and the other headbutt. Tyrell from the second one.
Fortune.
And those are literally the first contacts of the fight. So I feel like if I'm gonna be retired and be done, then I want to be outperformed. I want to have somebody that came in there and smoked me and whooped my ass at what I'm strong at. And then that tells me, okay, you're done. It's past your time. But I think in having situations that fights, in my perspective, should be overturned from a loss to a no contest because the first impact of the fight is headbutts, and those are illegal. So I feel like that should be a situation in which that I should be protected as a fighter. And if I'm not, which I wasn't, and who knows what the hell Mazzulli's doing in Connecticut. So because of that, and since he didn't overturn them, then I have no choice but I have to leave the sport of MMA because I don't trust the commissioner or the referee or whoever the governing body is going to be to make the right decision. And I can't take unnecessary beatings because the fight should have been stopped so they could either watch. Hey, you know what? Actually, on a mild tangent, right? Let me digress.
Sure.
I wish that they would do throwing a red flag in MMA. That if they could do a red flag in MMA, then a referee might miss a call, but then a corner can be like, hey, you know what? Hold on, there's something going on here, and it had to be within X amount of seconds of a foul or something like that. Because like my two fights, right? Like whoever the referee was, might have been Beltran before, and then Big Dan. If they miss both of those, right, then my ref can be like, hey, this just happened, blah, blah, blah. And then it's not me on the ground being upside down, being like, hey, dude, I just got headbutt. And Big Dan's response was, listen, you're not bleeding, so it's not significant enough. How the hell is that a response to me telling them I got headbutt?
Right.
But if my corner threw it in there, and they could go back and check a flag. And then if, like, say, for instance, like if my corner throws a flag in or something like that, and then they go back and review the film, and it didn't happen, the violation didn't happen, well, then maybe you lose that round automatically. It's like then you lose a point automatically. Who knows? But I think that's something that could be worked into the rule set, and I think that might be beneficial.
So before you got the call to do this, were you done? Had you retired?
No training, but I was training just because I enjoyed it. Like I wasn't wrestling, I was grappling. Actually, I guess I was still wrestling at Purdue.
But you weren't training for a fight. You weren't looking for a fight. You had kind of moved on?
Yeah.
And so how did this come about?
I got a phone call. I answered the phone.
Who called you?
Chris Idle and another fellow, and they were like, hey man, like it's in 3 weeks. Are you down for this conversation? And I was like, well, sure, who's it against? And they told me who the original fight was going to be against. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Sounds fun. Like, let's do it. Let's try it out. And that's really what it was. I think that was it was 3 weeks before this coming Saturday.
Who was the original opponent?
I think it was originally going to be Pulev.
Oh, and they swapped it.
Yep.
And so now you got Flores, who's younger.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that?
Well, let's try it out. Let's see what the hell happens. I like, I told you before, like my drug of choice is competition. So like I'm addicted to work. I'm addicted to competition. I'm addicted to the just being an asshole. It's who I am. So as a result of that, like when they offer me something that's a new sport, hasn't been done before, well, sure, why the hell not? Let's see what it is. I might really enjoy it. I might not at all. Right. Might get my ass kicked. Might sleep them in a minute. I have a lot of knockouts that have happened in less than 2 minutes in one round. So if that's the case, I can think of 3 off the top of my head. And if that's the case, well then maybe this is a great fight for me. Maybe it's a great opportunity. Might get my ass kicked. Who knows?
One fight deal?
Yeah, that's all I wanted. One fight deal.
Just to try it out.
Yeah, see what it is. I'm like man, like financially, I'm fine financially. I'm not really tripping about it. Like, and I'm in the process of getting actually like a career. But I might still keep fighting. I'm still training. But like, I look forward to whatever life brings me. But I know that like my wife and my kids just enjoy me being home. They enjoy the lifestyle that we have, and I don't feel like I need to prove anything to anybody anymore. I feel happy in my life, but like I said, I'm also addicted to competition.
Wait, so 2 follow-ups there. What's the real career that you're working on?
Well, I'm probably going to be a firefighter. We don't have an age limit at Purdue University. So I'm enrolling into EMT1 and EMT2 school coming in January. Going to go that. Then I have to work as an EMT for a little bit, and then I'll apply for a firefighter at Purdue. Wow.
Have you always wanted to do this?
Yeah, that's kind of always been my goal. It was to work in some form of a benefit to society. I feel like because of the career, and I always had to leave, because like I said, I live in Indiana. So since I always had to leave to go train and whatever else life would take me, I always felt like I was kind of a parasite on the communities I lived in, because I couldn't give back, I couldn't coach, I couldn't do other things, because I never knew when I'd have to split. And you know me, like I live on saying yes. A short notice fight isn't a big deal to me. So I'm like, yeah, sure, man. So I might have to leave like that, go down to Florida, go train for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, who knows? And so I felt like I always kind of lived off of the community versus being able to provide. And I think this is a situation in which I can finally do that.
When you were fighting UFC, Bellator in your prime, Did you deal with a lot of guilt? Because you've mentioned a couple times about leaving and not be like, did that bother you a lot? And you look back on that with regret? Do you wish that you didn't do that as much?
Um, well, if I'd had my druthers, no, I wish I would have been able to stick around. But in that same breath, like my kids were also really young at the time. And I was able to leave, and didn't really mean as much. It kind of cost me my marriage, right? Like I wasn't around as much. Like I wasn't a good husband then. I had to learn how to grow and be a better husband from that. And I think I do a pretty good job now, at least moderately decent job of being a good husband. But I think that now, yeah, absolutely. Like if I were to have the restraints on my career that I did then, now there's no in hell I would have this career. I'd pick staying at home, being a clerical worker or something other than doing that if I had to leave my kids. That's one of the reasons why I stopped doing commentary. Because commentary, fights only happen on Fridays and Saturdays. Well, that's the time that I get to A, spend with my kids, and B, that's the time that they have their sports. So or their activities or their events. So I'm never going to be involved in what they want to be in, but at least I'm bringing them a paycheck. To hell with that, man. Like, to me, being a parent, being a husband, and being a pillar in their lives, or even in the community, is a much more significant role than making money that allows us to do whatever, whenever I hopefully can get time for it.
You are speaking to my soul, man, and we could tie this up with the father stuff, because like my oldest is 9 now, my middle son is 7, and you can offer me, ringside, cage side for the biggest fight in the world. I don't care who it is. It's the return of Muhammad Ali against freaking Floyd Mayweather. Pick the fight, and going to their soccer game at the park with 10 parents there brings me an infinite amount of joy. Like, the joy that I experienced through that is exponentially greater than anything I could. And so now I'm being offered things, and I'm like, I don't want to go because I don't want to miss soccer. So I know exactly what you're saying. It speaks to me. It like makes me a little bit emotional, because there's a part of me that's like, you're crazy for turning things down. I just don't want to miss soccer. And that's
it's we also call it what it is. AH, you and I, both of us, you've been in the game longer than I was. And you've been to so many events. You've been to so many things. I've been to so many things. I've had so many things given, presented, opportunities, blah, blah, blahs, that it really just kind of blends into the same. Like, I've forgotten fights I've been on. I've forgotten places I've gone to, because it just blends into the same pot. But I remember my kids' events. I remember things that they did, like whether they did well or they did poorly, or they did that or did this or whatever it could be. I remember all those events. And I also remember the fact that, like, I got to be the soccer dad that brought Capri Suns or granola bars to this, I enjoy that. And that's much more important to me, being present in my children's lives, than being present at somebody's event that I really don't care about. And I'm going to be seen on a camera, or I'm going to be somebody else's photo op. That doesn't mean much to me.
You said something earlier. You said, I don't feel like I have to prove anything to anyone anymore. Was there a time in your life that you felt that way? And who are you talking about? Who did you have to prove anything to?
Well, I think it was to me, right? Like, I always felt like I always felt like I was a good football player. And I always knew I was going to play in the NFL. But not getting drafted, being signed as a free agent, getting injured, I never got to have the career that I wanted to have. And that's just the way life is. You just got to play the hand you're dealt. That's it, And I feel like injuries had a role in me not being as good as I could have been. I think, and in addition, I think the fact that I drank and partied and kicked it and was so wild as a youth, I think that had a pretty significant effect also. But I was successful in spite of my ignorance. But I just don't know if I was as successful as I could have been had I given myself the chance. And I think that I kind of learned that, listen, if I can be successful in this sport here, even though it's not really what I enjoy doing that much, then at least I can prove to myself I can earn a living, I can pay for the family. And when I'm finally done, then I can be at peace and be like, you know what? I'm good with what I did, good with what I accomplished. I mean, in the same, and I've told you and I have talked about this before. They're like, there are literally there's only one piece of memorabilia or photos or anything of my athletic life. it's not even on display, in our entire house. There's only one piece of anything. And that's it. That's the only one that I even cared about.
Which one?
Fedor signed my fight gloves.
After you fought him?
Yeah.
Why does that one mean so much?
Because he is the man, right? So as much as I downplayed that, like, he's the man, and he's such a good dude. And to be totally honest, I'm done with Bellator, so I can say it now. Like, that really kicked off my financial life. I mean, that was ignorant how much financially that had such a massive footprint on the leverage I had.
Do you have, well done. Do you, when you think of Bellator, your time there, bad feelings, good feelings?
I don't have many good feelings towards them at all.
Despite what you just said.
Yeah, well, no, that's that. Like, I made my financial life.
Okay.
I had leverage because I did what I had to do.
Gotcha.
Like, I think that they made several ideas, or like the heavyweight tournament. I think the heavyweight tournament was a joke. Like, it wasn't a heavyweight tournament; it was a super fight tournament. It was our biggest 8 names that we have. That's what I thought it was. That's why I told them, I was like, I think that's stupid. I don't want to do it. And like, I just knocked out Fedor in 71 seconds in Madison Square Garden. I'm 3-0 with 3 knockouts. Like, now you want me to take 3 steps backwards and fight arguably who's one of the most durable heavyweights in the game, Roy Nelson, to be first? Like, why am I? And then on top of that, like, why are you inviting Chael, who's a wrestler, Bader, who's a wrestler, Mo, who's a wrestler? Why are you inviting 3 light heavyweight wrestlers who are all extremely accomplished against heavyweights? That doesn't make sense to me. It just didn't make like there's a completely different skill set at heavyweight versus that, especially at that time. And so I held out. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. It's stupid. Put me on the shelf, or I'll fight Chet Congo for the title that nobody really has. Mm-hmm. And then once I beat Congo, then I'll fight whoever wins the heavyweight tournament, and then I'll do that. That's no problem at all. And they didn't like that idea either. So I held out until they paid me more. And then that was leverage. That's what I needed.
Well done.
And then everything got modified from there. And then and then it was just like rather serendipitous. Like, it sucked for Caratano, but kicking Taranoff in his nuts, right? I got paid full ticket price for that. I was supposed to fight Ronnie Marks, and that was on what do you call it day? Quarantine day, like Corona day.
Yeah.
And so I got paid full ticket price for that. We never even had to fight. Just things like for wear and tear that didn't happen on my body, I got money. And then so like, that's why like when I got headbutt the second time against Tyrell Fortune,
yeah,
I was on the ground and I was dizzy, and I was telling Dan, I was like, do I got headbutt? Like, whatever else, like, my head hurts, I can feel it. Like, you need to stop this fight. And he was just letting Tyrell, and even Tyrell stop because he knew he headbutt me. I like Tyrell. He didn't do it on purpose. It just happened. But like, he even stopped because he thought Dan was going to stop the fight, to be like, all right, we need to check this thing out. And he didn't. So once I rolled over and Tyrell grabbed the cage, I was like, well, you know what? Tap, tap, tap. I'm not taking an ass whooping when I got fouled for no reason. Doesn't make sense.
And you left. You were pissed.
I got out. I was like, I don't need to stick around. But I was so mad at Dan. Like, why would you tell me I'm not bleeding? Why is my blood relevant for you to be like, oh, wait, you did get headbutt? Doesn't make any sense at all. You can hear it in the audio in the fight. And I was like, that's foolish for a ref as accomplished as Dan to well, I guess he missed a call, so he has to take my word for it. But the fact that he said I'm not bleeding from it just blew my mind. And I was like, dude, if I'm going to get wailed on and he's already on top of me and I'm already dizzy, forget it, man. Get me out of here. I'm done with this sport.
Wow.
And that's why I walked off.
Wow. I know you have to run to the press conference. I'll ask you 2 quick questions, and then I'll let you go. This has been great, Matt, by the way. Really nice to talk to you again, especially on this show, my return to this show. You are a big part of this show's history. Frank just told me this is the biggest payday of his illustrious career on Saturday. Is that the same for you?
Nah, but it's pretty nice.
That's great, man. Hey, how about Triller taking care of you guys? You happy with them so far?
Hey, man, they really did a great job. And I'm not going to bullshit you. Anybody that's watching this that's a fighter, they gave us 4 plane tickets, 1 first class, 3 business class. UFC doesn't do that. They gave us 4 hotel rooms, right? They gave us cash. It's just the fact that, like, everybody thinks, oh, what's the big damn deal, right? That's superfluous. No. That's not superfluous. Like, my tickets to fly are like probably $700 a piece. right? They bought those out. If they didn't, I'd have to buy those tickets.
Mm-hmm.
My hotel rooms for 5 days or whenever the coaches can come down, that's another $250, $400 a night. So like by just what Triller did, this thing saved me probably 5, 6, 7 G's. Like all in all, like, I mean, it's a completely different mentality. And on top of that, financially, they were pretty damn generous. I've got like for me to answer the phone is probably why I have this fight, but I'm also not afraid to let my nuts swing, and that's what I do best. So I think I'm probably a pretty good matchup, but we'll see, man. See how it goes, AH.
I'm fired up. I can't wait. And the rules, you're down with the rules? Like you're up to speed? It's a little complicated at first. You feel good about everything?
Yeah, there's a couple of questions I have. Like, for example, if we're scrapping, right? Because I'm obviously going to tie his ass up. So if we're scrapping and I tie him up and he grabs my wrist, right? Can I use my shin? Like, can I break his grip with my shin?
Oh.
Because that's not kneeing anybody.
Right.
I don't know if that's legal or not. Like I'm not kneeing his body, so I got to figure that out.
Okay.
Like can I step on his foot and shove him? Right, and then coming off, you know, like there's just different parts. So can I use my forearm, to extend on a position? I'll figure it out. I'll answer the questions, but sometimes it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, baby.
Amen. Good luck to you, my man. Great to catch up. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm so happy for you. You seem to be happy, at peace. And just do me a favor before you go, Matt. You did a lot in the sport. You were a big part of the sport's history. Ultimate Fighter 10, Kimbo Slice, Montreal. I hope at some
I was going to wear my Ultimate Fighter shorts.
Oh,
and
sick.
They say Ultimate Fighter on them. I was going to wear the ones that I beat Marcus Jones in with the gold ones with
yes.
with the Ultimate Fighter. But they say Ultimate Fighter on them, so I can't wear them.
I just
didn't even think about it.
I just want you to know, we love you, man, and you were a big part of this sport's history, and I hope that you have good feelings towards MMA. Don't let those fans get to you. I appreciate you, and I know a lot of people do as well. So, I hope you have good thoughts and feelings at some point about the sport of MMA, and I hope you represent on Saturday. Good luck.
What's up? Hey, I really appreciate it, brother. Thanks, my dude.
All right. Talk to you soon. There he is, Matt Mitrione. How great was that?